Hello friends, neighbors, John your Wish neighbor here, welcome down the Nook. Sunday. So I like to shoot samples or open up these small sample bottles, and very recently Indri sent me in this black box, which had a wood box, two really interesting Indian single malts. And the one I want to talk to you about today is this one. This one is Indri Diwali 2024 edition. So it celebrates that Festival of Lights for 2024 back in November. It's also Cask Strength and it's also peated. So it's the feature. So I'm going to do it first. Otherwise, I absolutely would be doing this, which is also Cask Strength, but it's non-peated and it's ex-bourbon. And then I usually move into something that's peated. So I'll have to do a really good job clearing my palate to give a comparison to Drew. But for now, I just want to get in and talk and explore this Diwali 2024 edition from Indri. 3, 4. Well, thanks for coming back. This will be just an opening. I did that on the short, and then just a taste. Certainly can't rate something in such a small sample size, but you know, it's fun that they send this around. I'll put this on the camera, but the truth is, maybe I'll back it with the wood. It's awesome that they've decided to send a lot of whiskey around the world. They sent Indri to, Trini, that 3 cask to just about everybody. And I really liked it. And now I see it on the shelf. And I'm like, okay, now I know that whiskey and I've talked to other people about it. This Drew I had to pick up on my own. It's that Cask Strength ex-bourbon. And now they've sent this sample pack to a lot of people. So I think you'll be able to get my opinion and many others, which is fantastic. I think that's what makes this community rich. Now I decided to open this one up because it was leaking. And I thought, well, I better get into this one just about right away before it all leaks away. There's no danger on that. I think it probably sealed itself up with that. But it is interesting that it's sherried and peated. And it is Indian it's Indian malt. I think they do floor maltings. They have 3 wash, 3 spirit stills, and I don't know, this is the non-age stamp, and I said I think it's around 58. It's around 58%, so it's a monster. And I want to say one thing a little bit. I've had this before, I've talked to you about it, and I've noticed the Drew is pretty tight, and it needs time in the glass, maybe a drop of water, and it really starts to express itself. So let's, I've given this some time, more than usual between that short and our talk, and let's just see what I get. Oh, and I should say, you know, they sent also these tasting notes. Surinder Kumar is the master blender. I'd love to hear that person's thoughts a little bit on how they put this together. Peated, sherried, Indian single malt. Oh, it's just an explosion of fruit notes. I find their core malt fruity, and so to have it aged in sherry, it's like, whoo, there's so much, and it's so thick and leathered and tobaccoed. This is nicely smoked, earthy, leathered, fruity, stewed. It's all of that sitting around in this glass. Time to have a little whiskey with you. Cheers. Well, you know, 58% is saying hello. It's oaky. It's peated. Almost medicinal. Woody, campfire. It's a bruiser. It's absolutely a bruiser. I definitely want to try this with a little bit of water for 2 reasons. One, I've told you that the Drew opens up with just a drop. I don't want to knock it down too much, but I just want to see how it opens up. So I've let it rest a little bit with water, and I know I usually do that coming back after comparison, but I do want this Diwali 2024 to be kind of the focus of what we're talking about today. So with water, I'm just curious how the palate's going to open up. The nose was wonderful. That smoke, stewed, tobacco, leathered, fruits, dried fruits. Really like the nose. The palate was was a little bit strong in the oak tannins. So I'm hoping a bit of water just opens it up just a little bit. Let's try it on the palate. Absolutely. Let's see if I can help you walk through that though. It still has an abundance of oak, charred oak, cooked smoldering campfire. But it's like it's taken what it's a note, and it's just broadened it a bit that now I can get a little bit of fig, a little bit of prune. It's not lush. I was gonna say plum, but I was like, no, plum says the wrong thing. Prune. And Indri, I often get like a mango fruitness, and there's just an edge of that, like just a rich, that thicker tropical fruit that really coats your palate. So without the water, I struggled to get past it. Now with the water, it's not really less oaky. It's just that I can taste a little more across the dram. Another quick sip. It's just getting better. It's apps, ginger, cinnamons, nutmeg. All those spices that were hidden before. So I am a bit of a sucker for sherried peated drams. I also like Cask Strength. This is bold. It's thick, it's dark, it's got both that leathered fruitiness from sherry and it's got the smoky, smoldering peat. It's got a lot going on. Early thoughts, did them live with you, made lots of mistakes. Right now, it is significantly better with water. Interesting. I know I've talked to you about Drew a few times, but I think it's worth just kind of bringing you back. This is, again, their peated barley. It's huge, around 57%, but it is unpeated, and it's ex-bourbon only. In fact, I kind of wish I had a unpeated sherried and unpeated ex-bourbon to get a sense of their spirit and the cask interplay. But this is also, I should have said, natural, non-chill filtered, natural color. Like, one of the things, actually in their tasting card on the side that I haven't talked to you about, the 11-year-old Indri Founders Reserve, they mention that they go up to 50 degrees Celsius and down to 0 degrees in winter. They have incredible cask interplay. And how, like when we get to that Founders Reserve, I haven't opened it, how they managed to keep that in 11 years and at that strength still is rather impressive. Back to this Drew though, I have talked to you about it a few times. Cask Strength, unpeated, only ex-bourbon. Let's see what it's like. And such a difference. Normally when I come at this Drew, I'll talk to you about its fruitiness. I got the edge of mango. I've got all of that tropical fruit, but this just, both with the peat and with the sherry, is such a monster on the nose. This is now light, and it's not. If you were coming at this right now, I feel you would go, that's not a light nose, John, and it's not. But now it is sweeter. There is definitely more vanillins, more light caramel. And thereafter kind of, agitating it, which is crazy for a 57% whiskey, it's I'm getting some of that richer fruit. Really ripe banana, a little bit of mango. You know what? It's interesting. I'm getting a little bit of nut today. I'm getting a little bit of sweet nut, like a sweet almond marzipan. I don't remember having that. Oh, and there was so sweet with that fruit. I felt I was getting a cherry, like a really ripe Bing cherry. Wow, actually took a moment because this was just really playing around up in my olfactory centers there, but it now is rich, fruity, sweet. Definitely, I'm getting all kinds of cherry and mango and banana. Wow, it's amazing how long that took, but now it's there. Let's try this, Drew, on the palate. Cheers. Oh, it's so good. And it's so good. It's been open for a long time. Like at least a half an hour. I don't know how else to say that. We always say a minute in the glass for every year in the cask, at least. But so many whiskeys just do well if you pour them and walk away and come back. And this is just such an example of that. I'm going to put some water on it as well because my experience has said also a little bit of water. Now, I'm not really hitting the proof down. I'm just splashing a little bit for some of that, break up. We'll talk about the chemistry of that later. So coming back to the Drew Cask Strength, but with a couple of drops of water, see where it goes. You know what? I find the nose a little bit less. A little bit pushing into astringency. Well, okay, now it's back to where it should be. Cheers on the palate. Just delightful. It's still bold, it's still strong. The fruits are sweeter, lighter, coat easily. Now there is a bite to this one. Actually, more bite than, this has peated smoked bite for sure. But this has a little bit more, pepper. Hot. And it has a little more of that hot heat than this one does. These are very, very different drams. Really different. And it's difficult to compare them because you've got sherried and peat, unpeated and bourbon. They're cast so different. The core fruit is present in both, not just the sherry fruit, but the ripe, just that ripe fruit that I believe is core to Indri's house. I should probably look to see if I can get one of those Trini bottles again, but there's lots of casks in there. This is as close as I can get, just an ex-bourbon, right? And that's pretty good. Anyways, this is a great single malt. This is a distillery that I hope you're paying attention to. It's nice of them to share these things internationally. I think we're going to see just about a YouTube channel again with this. And I'm glad that they went with tasting bottles like that because it's quite an expense to send bottles around. So it's awesome that they share that. Won't affect my opinion of what's inside. But as I was just listening to someone who got up there ahead of me, it does expose me to more whiskeys out there, which is awesome. And I can walk you through just what I'm tasting. What do you think of Indri? What do you think of Indian single malt? Have you had much? Why don't you throw down some comments below and tell me what's your journey been like?